Anthony Slater, friend of the program, writes at The Athletic, does a great job covering the Sacramento Kings and Golden State Warriors. Um, Floated the possibility today of Trey Lyles starting at the 4 for the Kings. And I think that's I wouldn't personally do that because I don't like the idea of taking um I don't like the idea of taking Keon Ellis out of the starting lineup for Trey Lyles. Because in that scenario you're going Fox 1, DeRozan 2, Keegan 3, Lyles 4, Domas 5.
Mm-hmm.
And that gets Keegan out of the 4, which is nice. I think he's better suited at the small forward spot. But I also don't love Trey Lyles as the starting power forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of a weird issue here. Like, first of all, this idea was floated last season, like down the stretch, like probably in March, we started to hear like, well, what if they did this? And I know it's something that was kind of like there are people within the walls that have to support this idea of Trey Lyles starting. And I don't want to like anyone get this wrong. Like I like Trey Lyles. I've been like a one of the guys who have been like on the Trey Lyles bandwagon for a while. I think when
Mm,
you're a good team, having players like Trey Lyles, um, it helps you sustain. It helps you become even a better team. High basketball IQ, can shoot the three, can rebound,
mhm,
can mix it up, can take somebody off the dribble here and there. But my problem with Trey, even though he's done a ton of work on his body and he continues to get like in better and better shape, and in the way that I want to say that Jason Thompson used to do, like Jason
mm,
Thompson used to reinvent his body every year, and
sure.
he went from this kid coming out of Ryder with his feet facing the wrong way when he take a jump shot to a guy who really by the time he was done could have played multiple positions, but was just lean and mean and like a guy who had done the work, right? And I think Trey Lyles has become that guy. But still, I don't know how he acts as like a switching forward in rotations, and especially if you're moving Keegan to the 3 and you're switching everything all the time. Like Trey Lyles is a quality defender, but he's a quality defender against like second team guys more than he is against first team guys, right?
Mhm,
So the other problem that I have is that I think Trey Lyles should be playing the 4 and the 5 for this team. And last season, we saw the Kings walk into the year, like coming into training camp, they had 5 centers
mhm,
before they decided to waive Nemias Queta and Nerlens Noel.
mhm.
But this offseason right now, they've got Domantas Sabonis and they've got um,
Alex Len.
Alex Len, right? And so I think you're going to need Trey to play some backup 5. And
Mhm,
I just like the flow of the offense better with him at that position and being able to use him in multitude of positions, and using his versatility more than what I think having him start at the 4 would do.
mhm.
Plus, like let's just be honest, the Kings don't have the depth to do that move at this point. They
That's
don't.
that's that's the highlight of this for me.
Yeah.
Is that okay? That's fine. Like on the surface, somebody in the chatty house said they need more size in the starting lineup. Love this idea, but I that'd be fine if they had more depth at that spot. They don't, and I think
Yeah.
that highlights the biggest problem with their roster right now is is the fact that like Trey Lyles is I think in a perfect role where he's the seventh or eighth guy and he can play some small ball 5 or he's a backup for just I think he's super ideal in that role. And the fact that the move is, well, what if he starts?
Mm.
Like, don't love that. I don't love that idea.
Well, Kyle, and I think your point is very, very on point. Like realistically,
Mhm,
the fact that in order to start Trey Lyles, you're going to take Keon Ellis out of the starting lineup.
mhm,
Um, you just got worse defensively, and I think there's already going to be questions about your defense with DeMar DeRozan. We can look at advanced numbers all we want, but the fact is, we're talking about a 35-year-old guy. So you're going to have to worry about that as part of a problem. Like, can he hold up defensively for 82 games? But I think having him next to Keon Ellis makes a lot more sense. I mean, the Kings, like that it also puts you in a weird situation that, like, where are you going to get your Malik Monk minutes? I know you're going to get him at the backup one, you're going to get him at the backup two, but like, does that just eliminate Keon Ellis completely? Because your number one and number two and number three, like, minutes per game guys are Fox, DeRozan, and Sabonis, and even throwing Keegan Murray there. Like, how are you going to manage that aspect? Where do you get these other guys on the court? And to me, that's part of the problem too. And you still don't have the long, athletic, shot blocking, 3 or 4 to pair with Sabonis, to pair with DeRozan, to pair, like, that's the problem. It's as big a problem as anything else. I don't have any problem with, again, trading for a guy like Kyle Kuzma, putting him at the 4, and having Trey Lyles back up the 4 and the 5, and then still having Keegan Murray at the 3 and DeMar DeRozan. And now you got to figure it out. You're figuring it out then with, like 9 really, really high caliber NBA players. That's, I don't think, where they're at today.
Let's get to the phones real quick. 916-909-1320, 916-909-1320. Don, you're on the Insiders, which is sponsored by Jiffy Lube, FYI. Your thoughts on Trey Lyles starting at the 4 for the Kings?
Great trade for Marvin Bagley, first and foremost.
Perfect.
I just wanted to give you guys some love, man. Was super stoked when you guys came on. Only took you about a week to really kind of get your synergy, and you guys haven't looked back. I listen to y'all every day when I open up. So first of all, I just want to appreciate y'all.
My man. Thank you. Checks in the mail.
And secondly, as a lifelong Kings fan, I want to give my shout out to Mr. Monty McNair. It's been a rough, 30 plus years as a Kings fan. And when he took over, we can talk about the lineup, and the lineup was just, a lot of question marks. Fox, we didn't even know if, Fox was going to get that max extension. He was kind of at a low. So, he took over a bad roster, wasn't really allowed to tank, didn't get any top 3 picks. And look at where we are right now. Only traded that 1 pick for Herter, and now the pick swap, and still got a bunch of assets. And, I look around the West at the Clippers and the Suns and a lot of these teams that mortgage their future. And, we're looking better than them right now. So credit to Mr. Monty.
Definitely. Thanks for the call, Don. Appreciate you. It might have been Luke Walton.
There you go.
Yeah, man. I put eyeballs on Monty McNair once Mike Brown got extended, and you went, all right, now it's time for the front office to step up. They got Malik Monk to stick around without hitting free agency. They go draft Devin Carter. They go and get DeMar DeRozan in the sign and trade, and now they've set themselves up to have this conversation that we're having, James. It's not, hey, how do they go from bottom tier to like middle tier? Now we're talking, okay, they're in the middle tier. Now what move can they make that's really that big swing that gets them over the hump? And I think that's a credit to Monty McNair and a credit to the front office. I think they've done a really, really nice job this offseason.
Yeah, they put themselves in a position to be in the conversation for the top, 4, 5, 6 teams in the West. And, you still want more, and that's okay to want more, but they've done the job. Like, again, retaining Malik Monk was such a huge victory for this team. So they're right on the precipice here of something really interesting. And I kind of want to see if they can do something to put them over the top.
If you are on the phone line, hang in there. We'll get to you after the break. Don, I see you. Don, I see you as well. So make sure to hang out, and we will get to your calls. Next, we'll also have some good idea or bad idea. Plus, Kings Summer League opens today. Kings Las Vegas Summer League, that is, opens today against the Memphis Grizzlies. What are we watching for in Vegas? We'll talk about that next on ESPN 1320. It's Sacramento Sports Center.